Earth Abides is a new dystopian show that follows a man named Ish, spelled I-S-H, and we're following this man during a deadly pandemic. The only thing is that he misses the entire pandemic, much like Rick Grimes during the Walking Dead, where he wakes up out of a coma to find that the world had changed around him. Ish lives alone in a cabin that's fairly isolated. And one day he's out collecting rocks, and then he gets bitten by a snake. And then he drops his cell phone during the whole ordeal. He cuts the bite open, he sucks the blood out, he spits it out. He does all the things you need to do. He manages to get back to his cabin, and he's very sick. He's spitting up, he's drinking lots of fluids, lots of water, trying to flush it out. And he ends up fighting for his life. And after about 3 weeks, he finally survives this whole thing. He's healthy again. And now he's going to go outside, right? It's been 3 weeks. And as he goes out to his neighborhood, he's driving and there's nobody out there. Not a single car. He's by himself on the road. And as I'm watching this, I realize that I am nothing like this man at all. I would have been on the internet as soon as I was able to find the strength to grab my laptop. Matter of fact, the best thing about the laptop is that you can sit in bed sick and all and still be on it. But I'm guessing this guy probably doesn't even have a landline. Only his cell phone, which he dropped. Because if he had a landline, I would think he would have been able to call the ambulance or call a doctor or call somebody, but he didn't do any of that. So I'm going to assume that he just didn't have anything. He was really living it out in the woods. The only thing he had really was a cell phone, and he had lost it. He finally arrives at a mini mall, and there's still no one there, and everything's in disarray. And he sees a dead person, and then he sees another one in the car. He sees dead people, and he hasn't quite yet put it together, but he knows that something is wrong because he hasn't seen anybody. And then he spots the signs. Due to the global pandemic, USA government suspended. Shelter in place. God save the USA. There's military vehicles around, dead people around, and he knows now that something is definitely wrong. His next move is he rushes to his parents' house, and he finds their bodies. It's heartbreaking. You know what he's going to find. You know that they're dead. You know everybody's dead, but it's still heartbreaking the way that it's done. And the next move is he buries them. And I will say that the show does a very good job of making the actual digging of the grave feel authentic. I mean, it may seem trivial, but so many times I watch a TV show and the movies, and they have this like deep, perfectly dug hole, and it's not realistic at all. It really isn't easy to dig a hole. It's clear that the show is trying to feel realistic, even though there may be a couple of things in the early plot points that are a little off, like him dropping the phone and all that kind of thing that feels forced. It feels like they're trying to like isolate him in a way where he doesn't know what's going on. And so I just let that pass as part of a plot point. But in general, even when he sees the bodies, he covers his nose to give you the sense of the putrid smell, and you see the flies on the body. So it's all done to kind of give you that feeling that it's really happening. And now after he finishes burying the body, he takes a little bit of time because he has to deal with it. It's not easy. He goes through a depressive state. And then after that, he goes out and he drives. He takes to the road looking for signs of life. And he goes to Vegas. And it makes sense to go to a city. There has to be somebody there, right? And sure enough, he finds 2 people. A woman who lost her husband and children, and a man who had just lost his wife at that hotel that they were staying at in Vegas. And no one else is there. I mean, it's just empty. It feels like he finally got what he wanted, right? He finally met people. He isn't alone. But the problem is that the people that he met were both emotionally and psychologically damaged to the point where they had given up on life.
There's a big world out there. Enough goods to keep you alive for years. On the strip alone, you could live for a decade.
Yes. But would you want to?
Ish is a man who's looking to move forward, to try and survive through all this, to try to meet people and go out and find food and hunt or do whatever you need to do. But it's these 2 people, they're planning to end it all. They have no desire to go out and leave Vegas. They have no desire to try and hunt for food and grow their own vegetables. They're not doing that. They're done. Everything they had is gone. Their spouses, children, they've given up, and they made a plan that they're just going to shoot themselves. And Ish doesn't want to be there for that. He doesn't want to be part of that plan, and he doesn't want to be there to see it. They don't want to go with him, and he's not going to stay there and watch them kill themselves. So he leaves. And as he leaves, this is what you hear in the background. Two gunshots. The only two people he met are now dead. And Ish is again by himself and alone. One of the things that the show demonstrates is that being a loner, which he is at the beginning because he's living in a cabin by himself, but being a loner is not the same as being the last person left on Earth. There's always a need for some sort of companionship, because even as a loner, he still had his parents that he loved, and he probably had friends that we don't know about that we hadn't seen. And so right now he's having a very difficult time not being around other people. And so after he leaves Vegas, he drives off trying to find anything. And he's driving on the road at maximum speed. He's depressed. These two people just killed themselves, and he's just trying to hold on. And then he comes across a dog in the road that he almost hits but doesn't. And so he names the dog Lucky, and that becomes his companion. Now our team of one has become a team of two. And although it helps, it's still not enough. He's still working to try to keep himself sane or emotionally invested in living. He doesn't want to be like those two people in Vegas, looking to check themselves out, staring down the barrel of a gun. But he may not have to struggle for much longer, as the final visual shot in the episode is a small fire in a distance. A man-made fire, has to be. And as he studies it, he knows he may no longer be alone. I didn't know what to expect from this show, but to me it looks promising. I enjoy dystopian shows, and so I look forward to the next episode. Did you like it? Are you going to see the next one? Tell me your thoughts below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like this video. Thank you very much.